welcome to Functionally Aesthetic, a graphic design podcast by Indianartista. This is me, Avni Desai. I'm from Indianartista and I am Indianartista. I have been a graphic designer since 2012 and I thought let's make a podcast because everybody has one. I'm a little new to this and I hope you kind of guys enjoy it, learn something from it. That's my main function over here. And for me, design is supposed to be functionally aesthetic. If it doesn't work and if at the same time is not pleasing to your eyes, what's the point? Anyway, let me talk a little bit about this particular episode that is going to start hopefully really soon. So the first episode is about personal branding. Personal branding is very close to me because it has helped me evolve as a designer that I am right now. Before learning about personal branding, I used to design a lot of logos and it involved a lot of, questions in terms of asking my clients. And it was a lengthy questionnaire of, comprising of 22 questions. It was kind of a long process for, both the sides. And it didn't give me a lot of clarity in terms of, design. Enter COVID. And COVID gave me a good space to explore in terms of learning. And I ended up learning a lot about personal branding, reputation management, learning with art, learning a little bit about animation. It's important to relearn or keep learning new things in your life. It kind of evolved you as a person as well as a professional. And it did evolve me as a good designer. Now, learning about personal branding made me realize that I need to conduct these personal branding sessions that I do. I won't be talking about that because for that, you guys need to pay me. Anyway, so with personal branding as a great tool in my hands, it helped me design better logos. And it actually shows the difference between my previous logos versus the one I did after doing personal branding sessions with my clients. It takes about 1 to 2 hours in that session to explore the things about, their personal brand in terms of what they are as humans and how that percolates into what their brand is becoming. And essentially, this is what the podcast is about. Why bother with personal branding? Now, what I have done is I'm a little nervous in terms of recording the whole podcast by myself, and I'm using some help, and I'm using help from AI. The two major tools in terms of AI that I will be using in this creation of the podcast are, of course, ChatGPT. It helps me structure my data accordingly, and of course, there's this really new good AI tool by Google, and it's called Google Notebook LM. And I love it. I love that it has this audio overview feature that I'm going to use it in terms of giving the data that I have to say in this podcast. Now, talking a bit about Google Notebook LM. Imagine there's a huge ground and there are certain toys, and those are the only toys that you can play with. And that's what essentially AI software does. It doesn't go on web to search for sources. It only plays with the sources. You give it to it. So if you say, for example, are studying, if you are a project manager in terms of, you're a person who requires a lot of data and management of data in your everyday life, you can feed all of that data into it. And it'll just play around to make study guides, FAQs, notes, and as well as if you're an audio learner, it has this really good audio overview. So I have uploaded all the notes that I have made in terms of learning personal branding, all the articles that I feel are necessary to read in terms of personal branding, and stuff that I learned in my university, in my master's, while doing this short course of personal branding. I've uploaded all of that and my own notes in terms of my perspective about personal branding in this particular audio overview that you will listen to. So let me know if this was informational, if it kind of gave you clarity, if you want to know more, if you want to get into personal branding, let me know and get in touch with me and let me know how you find this particular podcast. Let's get into it. Episode 1, why bother with personal branding?
All right, so you're ready to deep dive into personal branding, huh? Looks like you want to go beyond just the basics, which is awesome. So we've gathered some seriously cool stuff for this 2 Forbes articles, get this, a piece on the history of personal branding, and another that just digs into, like, the deeper meaning of it all. Ready to get into it.
Oh, yeah. It's wild how personal branding is just like the thing now for anyone who wants to, really make a name for themselves. But what's even crazier is that it's not even a new idea. It's been around forever.
Right. Total mind blower, right? Okay, but before we get too far ahead, I'm curious, how would you define personal branding? Like, just based on what we've got here.
It boils down to like crafting this super distinct image, right? One
Mhm.
that really shows who you are professionally and what you're all about. Basically, it's how you package your skills, your experiences, everything that makes you, and then you present that package to the world.
So it's kind of like instead of a company having a logo, you are the logo. Like whether you're like actively designing it or not, you've got a personal brand out there already. But I'm guessing you're thinking about being more deliberate about it, right?
You got it. And this is where things get really interesting because you won't believe this, but this whole personal branding thing, it goes way back. Remember that Alan Branch article?
Mhm.
He talked about how, like, back in the early 1900s, businesses were all about the person behind them. Their name was the brand.
Oh, yeah. Like Ford, Sears, all those big names we know, they were basically just people at the beginning. Crazy how different that is from those faceless corporations we see so much today.
Totally. It was all about reputation, values, that personal touch. Then things shifted to those huge companies. And now, with like the internet and social media exploding, personal branding is back with a vengeance.
So it's like this old idea that's done a full circle, but why is it so important and no W in the digital age?
Well, think about it. We're drowning in information every single day, right? Content everywhere, everyone fighting for attention. If you want to cut through all that noise, you got to stand out. And that's where a killer personal brand comes in. It's not just about getting a job anymore. It's about building that reputation that precedes you, a name people actually trust.
That makes sense. Especially for someone, who's really dedicated to lifelong learning, right? Like a strong personal brand helps you really leverage those talents and passions, right?
100%. When you've got that solid personal brand, the right opportunities find you. Seriously, you become a magnet for those projects, collaborations, the things that light you up. Instead of just waiting around, you're actually drawing in what you want.
So it's not just about like shouting your skills from the rooftops. It's about attracting that right kind of attention, the people who get what you're about and what you bring to the table.
Exactly. But it goes even deeper than that. A strong personal brand is also about authenticity. It's like, how do you align who you are on the inside with how the world sees you?
That hits home. I've definitely noticed the people who just seem like genuinely themselves, they tend to make a bigger impact. It's not about putting on a show, it's about letting your true self shine through in a way that feels real, you know?
You nailed it. And that's what makes it so powerful for long-term growth. Think
Yep.
about it. Whatever happens in the job market, the economy, all that craziness, your skills, your reputation, those become your secret weapons. They make you adaptable, resilient, no matter what's thrown your way.
Whoa, that's empowering. It's like building the solid foundation for your career that no one can touch, even if the world goes totally haywire. Perfect for a lifelong learner, right? Always growing, always evolving. Okay, speaking of growth, there's that Forbes article by Goldie Chan with the 10 golden rules of personal branding. What really stood out to you, especially like for someone who is all about learning and growth?
Oh man, there's so much good stuff in there. But I think for someone like that, the focus rule is huge E. The idea that you don't have to be everything to everyone. Instead, you figure out your niche, what makes you uniquely valuable. It's about finding that common thread that connects all those passions and makes you stand out from the crowd.
Totally. It's like you're not trying to water down your message to appeal to everyone. You're concentrating it to really connect with the people who are looking for exactly what you offer.
Exactly. And that ties right into another rule, being genuine. People can spot a fake a mile away. Authenticity is magnetic, and it's way more sustainable in the long run.
Right. Like it's not about creating some made up persona. It's about letting your true colors shine through. That's how you attract the people who will actually appreciate you for you.
And Chan also talks about the power of storytelling. Because, let's be honest, just listing off facts and skills, snooze fest. What really grabs people's attention is a narrative, a story they can connect with emotionally.
So true. For someone who loves learning, you know that information sticks better when it's presented in a way that sparks curiosity and makes an emotional connection. It's not just what you're saying, it's how you're saying it.
And finally, she really drives home the point about consistency. Showing up once in a blue moon just doesn't cut it. You need to be consistent with your message, your content, everything. That's how you build trust and get people to remember you.
It's like any relationship, right? If you only check in with a friend like once a year, it's hard to stay close. But regular interaction, sharing experiences, that's what makes the bond stronger. But one thing that really stuck with me was Chan's rule about being ready to fail. Even the experts mess things up sometimes.
Oh, totally. That's so important to remember. It's all part of the process, especially for someone who's always pushing boundaries and trying new things. You have to give yourself permission to fail.
Exactly. It's all about experimenting, figuring out what works, and using those like oops moments as fuel to learn and grow. But let's get into some more tactical stuff. There's that other Forbes article, the one by Ashley Stahl, that's all about using Instagram for personal branding. And let me tell you, if you're active online, that platform can be a total game changer.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Stahl lays out these key steps that I think could be super valuable. First off, she emphasizes connecting your Instagram to your overall brand purpose. It's not just about posting pretty pictures. It's about strategically using it to tell your story and show your values visually.
Right. So each post is like a little peek into what you're all about, what you bring to the table. Like each photo, each caption, it all adds to the bigger picture of your personal brand.
You got it. She also talks about finding your voice on Instagram, letting your personality shine through, both in the visuals and in how you write. Again, authenticity is key.
Makes sense since Instagram is so visual, right?
Yeah.
Like the way you edit your photos, the words you choose, it all creates a vibe and people will start to associate that vibe with you.
Absolutely.
Huh.
And then there's the whole world of hashtags. Stahl's all about using them strategically to reach the right people, but without going overboard.
It's like finding that balance, right? Too many hashtags feel spammy, but the right ones can connect you with people who are genuinely interested in what you have to share.
You got it. And her last big point is about interaction. It's not just about broadcasting your message. It's about engaging with others, building those relationships, creating a community around your brand.
That's what I love about it. It's not just about building a following. It's about building a tribe of people who get you and are excited about the same things you are. But as you said earlier, Instagram is just one piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. It's a tool, a way to amplify your message. But the core principles of personal branding, those are what really matter. And actually, this is a perfect segue to our next source, that excerpt with no author. It basically says that personal branding isn't just about self-promotion or trying to be famous.
Oh, okay. I'm really curious about this one. What did you take away from it?
It highlights something people often miss: internal discovery. Personal branding can be this crazy journey of self-awareness, where you figure out your values, what truly matters to you. It's like getting to know yourself better and then figuring out how to share that authentic self with everyone else.
So it's not just building a brand, it's building a stronger you, almost like personal development, but with a professional twist.
Spot on. And this excerpt also dives into creating value for others. It's not just about what personal branding can do for you, it's about what you can give back to the world.
Right, so it's about sharing what you know, helping others grow, and making a positive impact.
Exactly. It's finding that sweet spot where your passion and your skills meet what the world needs. It's a more holistic view of personal branding, and I think it's something you could really connect with.
That's like a whole different way of looking at it. It's not just about building a career, it's about building a life where you're making a real difference. But I gotta admit, all this personal branding talk can feel a little, I don't know, intimidating.
Oh yeah, I get it. It's a journey, one that never really ends. And it's definitely not about being perfect.
Right, progress over perfection, which goes back to like being okay with failing, with making mistakes along the way. It's all part of learning.
Totally. And those small wins, those matter too. Every step you take towards building your brand, that's a victory.
Love that. It's not just about the end goal. It's about enjoying the process, seeing how far you've come. But it would be cool to hear about some of the like bumps in the road. What are some challenges people might face when they're trying to build their personal brand?
Well, one thing I see a lot is people trying to be everything to everyone. Remember Goldie Chan's focus rule. It's tempting to appeal to a huge audience, but that can actually make your message weaker and harder to stand out.
Right, because if you're trying to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. It's like trying to be friends with everyone in school. You spread yourself way too thin, and the connections aren't as strong.
Exactly. You got to figure out your niche, who you really want to connect with, and tailor your message to them.
Makes total sense. So it's about being strategic, not just throwing things out there randomly and hoping something sticks. But what about inconsistency? We all struggle with that sometimes, right?
Oh, big time. Life happens, right? It's easy to let personal branding slide when things get crazy, but being consistent is so important when you're trying to build that trust over time.
It's kind of like working out, right? You can't just hit the gym once a month and expect to see results. Consistency is key.
Exactly. You need a plan you can stick to, something that works even when things get busy.
Hmm.
But there's also the fear of really putting yourself out there, showing your true self.
Oh, that's a big one. I think a lot of people worry about judgment. What will people think if they see the real me?
It's a totally normal fear. But remember, being authentic is what makes you unique. People connect with vulnerability, with realness. Those imperfections are what make you relatable.
So it's about finding that balance between being professional and still letting your personality shine through. You don't want to be a robot, but you also don't want to air all your dirty laundry.
Right. And when you're authentic, you attract the right people.
Yeah.
The ones who genuinely appreciate you for you, not just some image you're trying to project. But all of this takes time. You need patience and persistence.
Right. You can't just build a strong personal brand overnight. There will be setbacks, times when you doubt yourself, maybe even some criticism.
100%.
Yeah.
But those challenges are all part of it. And the rewards, both personally and professionally, can be amazing.
It's like anything worthwhile, right? It takes effort, dedication, and a willingness to push through the tough stuff. But seeing those results, knowing you created something meaningful, that's where the real satisfaction is.
Exactly. And when you approach personal branding with that mindset, it becomes less about self-promotion and more about sharing your gifts with the world.
That's a great way to put it. It's about making a positive impact, building real connections, and leaving a legacy you're proud of. But while we've talked about the challenges, I'm curious about the flip side. What are some of the tangible benefits someone might see when they invest in building their personal brand?
Well, one of the biggest benefits is increased confidence. When you know who you are and what you stand for, that confidence just radiates outwards.
It's like that feeling when you walk into a room and you just know you've got this, that self-assuredness is magnetic.
Exactly. And that confidence spills over into every area of your life, not just your work. Your relationships, your hobbies, everything benefits.
So it's not just about career success, it's about becoming a more confident, well-rounded person.
Exactly. Another benefit is increased credibility. When you've got a strong personal brand, people see you as an expert in your field.
Like you build that reputation for being knowledgeable, reliable, someone who consistently delivers. People start seeking you out for your expertise.
Totally. And that credibility can unlock so many doors, speaking gigs, collaborations, leadership roles, things that might have seemed out of reach before.
It's like your personal brand becomes your VI key pass, showcasing what you can do.
Exactly. Then there's increased visibility. With a strong personal brand, people are more likely to find you and your work.
It's like you're stepping out of the shadows and into the spotlight.
You got it. And that increased visibility can mean more clients, customers, followers, whatever you're aiming for.
So you're putting yourself on the map, making it easier for the right people to find you and connect with what you offer.
And lastly, this ties back to that excerpt we talked about. Personal branding can lead to a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment.
That's powerful. It's not just about external success, it's about feeling aligned internally.
Right. When you're clear about your values, your goals, and you're actively living in line with them, it just makes everything more meaningful.
It's like you're not just working for a paycheck anymore, you're working towards something that really matters. And that makes all the difference.
It really does.
Okay, you've definitely made a strong case for personal branding. But is it really for everyone? I mean, I get it for entrepreneurs, influencers, people who are already in the public eye. But what about the rest of us?
That's a really common misconception. While it's super important for people in those roles, it's actually valuable for anyone who wants to move forward in their career or make a difference in their field.
So even if you're not trying to be the next big social media star or start your own company, it can still make a big impact.
Absolutely. Everyone has unique skills, experiences, and values, right? Personal branding helps you showcase those things and stand out, so you attract the right opportunities.
Right, because in such a competitive world, you need a way to cut through all the noise and make people remember you. It's about crafting a story that highlights your strengths and helps you stand apart.
Exactly. In today's job market, personal branding can be what gets you noticed instead of getting lost in a sea of applicants.
It's like giving yourself a superpower, right? When you clearly show your unique value, it's easier for people to see why they should pick you.
And it's not just about getting the job. It's about building a reputation and a network that will help you throughout your career.
It's about making those connections, those relationships that can open doors and lead to amazing opportunities.
Exactly. So entrepreneur, freelancer, employee, student, wherever you are in your journey, personal branding can be that key to success and fulfillment.
That's pretty empowering. It's like taking control of your career path and creating something that aligns with what you're passionate about. But is there like a one-size-fits-all approach, or does personal branding look different depending on your industry or career goals?
That's a great question. And the answer is it definitely varies. Let's take a creative person, for example, like a graphic designer or writer. Their personal brand might be all about showcasing their portfolio, their unique style, their storytelling abilities.
So for them, it's about letting their work speak for itself, showing how they can bring ideas to life in a visually engaging way.
Exactly. Now, imagine someone in a more technical field like engineering or data science.
Okay, so for them, it would be more about highlighting their technical skills, problem-solving abilities, and the impact they've had in their field.
Absolutely. It's about showcasing their expertise and how they can get results in a data-driven world. Now, let's think about someone in a leadership role, like a manager or executive.
For a leader, I'd say it's crucial to show their vision, their ability to inspire others, and their track record of success.
You got it. They need to demonstrate strong leadership qualities, communication skills, and the ability to build high-performing teams.
So it's really about understanding your field's expectations and values and then presenting yourself in a way that resonates with those. But at the same time, it's not about pretending to be someone you're not.
Exactly. It's about finding authentic ways to show your strengths and values within your chosen profession.
It's like finding that sweet spot where your true self meets the needs of your industry. But let's get practical for a minute. What are some steps someone can take to actually start building their personal brand?
First things first, you got to define your personal brand statement. Think of it like a short, powerful declaration that captures who you are, what you do, and what sets you apart.
It's like your elevator pitch, but for yourself instead of a product, right? But how do you even start creating something like that?
Ask yourself some key questions. What are your core values? What are you passionate about? What unique skills and experiences do you bring? And what do you want to be known for?
So it's about taking stock of your strengths, your passions, your dreams. You're figuring out the basic building blocks of your brand.
Right. Once you've got a good grasp on those, you can start piecing them together into a clear and compelling statement.
Okay, so once you've got that personal brand statement nailed down, what's next?
Create a consistent online presence. We talked about consistency before, but now it's about making it digital.
Okay, so where do you focus? Are some platforms more important than others?
It really depends on your industry and who you're trying to reach. But some of the most popular ones for personal branding are LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and even a personal website or blog.
Right, it's about choosing the platforms where your target audience is hanging out.
Exactly. And once you've picked your platforms, you got to create profiles that match your personal brand statement and look good visually.
So everything needs to be cohesive and professional across all your online channels. LinkedIn, website, Instagram, it all works together.
Exactly. And keep those profiles updated with fresh content that shows off your skills, experiences, and insights. But the online stuff isn't everything. You got to get out there and network.
Ugh, networking. I know it's important, but it can be a little scary. Any tips for someone who's not like a natural social butterfly?
Networking doesn't have to be scary. It's about building relationships with people in your field and sharing what you know.
So it's not about working the room or collecting business cards. It's about making real connections and building relationships that benefit both people.
Exactly. And there are so many ways to network these days. Industry events, online communities, even reaching out to people you admire on social media.
Okay, that sounds a little less intimidating. It's about being proactive and finding ways to connect with people who share your interests. But I think one of the biggest things that holds people back, myself included, is that feeling of like, what do I have to offer? Especially when you're just starting out.
That's totally normal. But remember, networking isn't just about what you can get. It's about what you can give.
Right. So approach those interactions with a generous spirit, offering help, sharing your knowledge freely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you're more likely to build those lasting relationships, the kind that can lead to amazing opportunities down the road. But building a personal brand isn't a one-time thing, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not something you just do once and then forget about it.
Right. It's more like you got to nurture it, tend to it over time.
Exactly.
It's an ongoing process. It takes consistent effort, adaptation, and a willingness to evolve as you grow.
It's like any relationship, you got to put in the work, give it attention, be willing to adapt as things change. Definitely not a one and done deal. Any other misconceptions you've come across?
One I hear a lot is that personal branding is only about your professional life. But really, it can be so much more. Your hobbies, volunteering, anything you're passionate about. Those can all be part of your personal brand.
It's like personal branding reflects your whole self, not just the part you show at work.
Exactly. And when you connect your brand with your values and passions, it just makes life feel more authentic and fulfilling.
So we've busted some myths, but what about mistakes? What are some of the biggest blunders people make when they're building their personal brands?
One of the biggest is not knowing who they're talking to. Like, they try to appeal to everyone, and that just makes their message weaker and harder to stand out.
Right. It's that trap of trying to be everything to everyone, like we were talking about with Goldie Chan's focus rule.
Totally. It's way more effective to focus on a specific niche, a specific group of people you want to reach. Figure out their needs, what they're interested in, their pain points, and then tailor your message to them.
So you're not trying to win over the whole world. You're speaking directly to the people who are most likely to resonate with your message.
Exactly. Another common mistake, and we've touched on this, is inconsistency.
Yeah, that gets us every time, doesn't it? We get busy, distracted, and all those good intentions just fade away.
It happens.
Yeah.
But consistency is so crucial for building trust and getting people to recognize you. Show up regularly, even when you don't feel like it.
It's like building any habit, Make it part of your routine, even when things are hectic. What other mistakes do you see?
Not asking for help. People think they got to do it all alone, but that can be overwhelming, and honestly, it's not necessary.
Oh, that's me. That independent streak can be a blessing and a curse.
I know, right? Building a personal brand can be tough, and it's okay to ask for support. Mentors, coaches, online groups, friends, family. So many people can help and cheer you on.
That's a great point. We're all in this together, and we can achieve so much more when we support each other. But knowing the mistakes is only half the battle, right? What are some ways to overcome those pitfalls?
Okay, so to avoid the everything to everyone trap, the key is to niche down.
We've heard that term before, but what does it actually mean to niche down?
It means focusing on a specific area where you're an expert, or a specific audience you want to reach. Become known for that one thing instead of trying to do it all.
So instead of saying, I'm a writer, you say, I'm a writer who specializes in crafting website copy for tech startups. You get super specific.
Exactly. When you niche down, you become way more attractive to the right people. Think about it. When you need a doctor, you want a specialist, not someone who says they can treat everything right.
So it's about finding that perfect intersection of your skills, your passions, and what the market needs. What about the consistency thing? How do we stay on track?
Make a plan, a realistic one, and stick to it.
Yeah.
Schedule time each day or week specifically for working on your personal brand. Don't let anything get in the way.
Like, put it in your calendar. Make it a recurring appointment, but for your personal brand.
Right. Use that time to update your profiles, create content, network, learn new skills, whatever will help you grow your brand.
That's a great way to keep it top of mind and not let it slip through the cracks. But what about that fear of asking for help? How do we get over that?
You have to realize that asking for help isn't weak. It's actually really strong. It takes courage to admit you need support and to reach out. And remember, we all need help sometimes. No one does this alone.
It's like that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Exactly. So be honest with yourself about where you could use some help, and then reach out to your network, your mentors, anyone who inspires you. There are so many people who want to help if you just ask.
Wow, we've covered so much today. We've talked about misconceptions, mistakes, and strategies for success. But if you could give just one piece of advice to someone who's feeling overwhelmed, what would it be?
Remember that personal branding is a journey, not a destination. Don't focus on being perfect. Focus on growing and evolving. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate your wins and learn from the setbacks.
It's all about the process, the ups and downs, and knowing it's all part of the ride.
Exactly. And never forget that your personal brand reflects your values. So be true to yourself, let that authenticity shine through, and you'll attract the right people and opportunities.
Don't try to fit into some mold. Be yourself. Let your uniqueness shine.
And finally, remember that personal branding is about making a difference in the world. It's not just about your career. It's about using what you're good at to contribute to something bigger.
So it's about Finding that sweet spot where your passions and purpose meet and using your brand to make a real impact.
Exactly.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into personal branding. I don't know about you, but I feel fired up and ready to get to work.
Me too. It's always so inspiring to see how personal branding can empower people to achieve their goals and create positive change.
Absolutely.
Good.
So as you start building your personal brand, remember, be authentic, be consistent, be patient, and most importantly, be yourself.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's it for this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep sharing your amazing self with the world.
All right, that was it. That was my first episode on personal branding, essentially. Why bother with personal branding? Now, I personally found this really informative because if I have to just, do a quick revision on what personal branding is, and I like how the Google Notebook LM kind of does this really nice interactive with a male and female voice audio overview. I had fun because it felt like two people talking. So let me know how you liked it because I'm really excited about it. You can reach me out on Instagram. You can reach me out via Gmail. I'm going to put all of that in my description so you can check it out on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast because I'm still figuring out how to get to you guys in every platform possible. And feel free to just connect with me. And if you want me to talk about it, let me know because that will kind of give me a good encouragement push to actually talk about things that I'm good at. But for now, I'll be using this particular AI tool and see how this goes. And then later, maybe put in a little bit more courage and effort into creating better podcasts for you guys in terms of graphic design. Anyway, that's it for now. Stay tuned. Next week, I will be coming up with a new topic, and I'm still studying and researching and making my notes on it. So keep following me. And thank you so much. This was Functionally Aesthetic by Indianartista.